about unrequited love and growth. When I, 28 I think, when I was 28 and I was living in LA, I met a girl, and she was perfect. She wore jeans with sneakers and like really made it work in a way that I didn't understand. And she had a guttural laugh, like most people would be annoyed with it, but it was like, and I'm a comedian, so when I would make her laugh, it would like fill my chest with a warmth. And we had glances that nobody could decipher, and we had jokes that nobody understood. And I was in love with her. And she was totally in love with another dude. Because I was her guy friend, and she was my girl space dash friend. And I was a lot of people's guy friend, and I had a lot of girl dash space friends. And it didn't bother me before, but it bothered me with her because she was perfect for me. And I wanted to be perfect for her, but I wasn't. And I got angry about it, and I got angry the day I met her, even though we became friends. And I started that very day to learn and change who I was. I felt that if I could become the person that I think she wants, then when I meet the next perfect girl, I would be ready for the perfect girl, if that makes sense, and I know it doesn't. But I started. I was about 280 pounds, and I started like that day. And over the course of 6 months, I went from a 44-inch waist to a 34-inch waist. And I started reading a lot of material, a lot of books. There was a book I bought that was called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And it had a picture of like a 20s actor like taking off his jacket with his vest on, and he was about to like slap somebody or punch somebody in the face, like put up your Duke style. Or say like on Social Old Man or something like that. And I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be that tough guy who didn't take shit from people. But I still wanted to be a nice guy. And I learned a lot of stuff from that. I learned that my girl dash friends were me waiting for them to come around. So I backed away from those. And the ones that stayed, the ones that continued to want to be my friends, then became my real friends. Because I wasn't expecting anything from it. And that meant a lot to me. But I also wanted to attract love. And I bought a book. I can't believe I'm going to say it. I bought a book called The Game. And The Game is described as a book to learn how to pick up girls. But it's also a book that will teach you how to attract people to you. And there's a lot of very complex strategy involved in it. But basically, the strategy is if you want to attract girls and love into your life, you've got to be an asshole to them. And I didn't want to be an asshole. I wanted to be a nice guy. Like, I've been a nice guy for a long time and it wasn't working out, so fuck it. I'm going to be an asshole and see how this works. So one day, after talking to that girl, I got angry again. I picked up the phone and I called my friend Charlie. And I'm going to call him Charlie, but his name's not Charlie. But whenever we went out, he would tell people his name was Charlie. Either because he was a very private guy or he really liked to fuck with people. And I think he liked to fuck with people. So Charlie answers the phone and I say, we're going out tonight. And he says, 20 minutes, and he hangs up the phone. I put the phone down and I say to myself, tonight you are a player. And I open up my closet door and I start to look for my super outfit. And because in the game, you have to have clothes and accessories that will point you out or show people that you're confident and they will recognize and see and blah, 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 blah. So I grab my expensive diesel jeans and I put on these shiny black shoes and a big, fat, shiny belt buckle and a fuchsia button-down shirt with a huge collar, like from the 70s. I bought it in a thrift store, so it's from the 70s. And I put on a fedora and I kick open my apartment door and I go out and, well, I didn't kick it. I opened it. I opened the door, but it felt like I was kicking it. And I go out into the night and I get in the Jeep and Charlie takes my hand, throws it in the back and he says, I think the pink shirt's enough. And we head out to the first bar. And now I'm not looking for love tonight. I just want to prove to myself that I can get a phone number. Because I honestly don't know that at that point I had ever gotten a phone number in a social situation with a girl. So I'm going to get one phone number. And I'm at this bar called Miami's, which used to be the Roxbury. And I literally have no fucking idea what I'm doing. And I'm just walking around. Charlie's gone, by the way, because Charlie disappears. That's what he does. And I'm just walking by myself in a bar filled with really rich people and girls in very short skirts. And I'm not even making eye contact. I don't know what to do. And I end up on the deck, and there's Charlie with 6 Asian girls. And this is going to sound racist, but to an Italian Catholic, talking to 6 Asian girls is like the Holy Grail. Like, you want to believe that it can happen, and it can be found, but it's probably not going to happen in your lifetime. And I walk up, and he introduces me, because he knows what I'm there for, and he's really pumping me up, and we're laughing, and we're giggling, and I find the prettiest girl, and this is from the game, you find the prettiest girl, and you insult her. And then the other girl, I swear that's what you do. And then the other girls then feel better about themselves, therefore feeling better about you. And it's totally working, because the 5 other girls are totally digging me, and I don't care about her, because she's too tall for me anyway. And Charlie disappears, as he does. And the girl goes, "What happened to your friend?" And "Where did he go?" And I said, "Wherever he's needed." And because it's Batman. And so then I learned something very, very important when talking to 6 Asian girls. If you want them to leave immediately, say the word Asian. Out. Go on. I turn around, there's Charlie. He's shaking his head. "You said Asian, didn't you?" I said, "I did." Off to the next bar. We cross the street to the trap, and there are 5 girls fumbling with their licenses, right? I still haven't gotten their number. I haven't gotten any sort of anything. They're fumbling with their licenses, and Charlie gets annoyed, and he screams, "That's not what a New York license looks like." And this girl walks up to him, runs up to him, and she slaps him in the face. And Charlie slaps her back. Not hard, not hard. He was playful about it. And she laughs. And we walk into that bar as a group, arm in arm, and sit on a purple velour couch. And we talk for like 45 minutes, and I get up and I'm going to go get a drink. And as I get a drink, I see a short, stout, and I don't mean to talking about race all the time, but a very cute, short, stout Latina girl. And now I'm getting a little drunk, I'm getting a little more confident, and I walk up to her and I say, "Ooh, mommy." And I'm waiting for her to just say, "Fuck off." But she giggles and she says, "Poppy." And I ask her why she's drinking alone, and she tells me she's got a 60-year-old boyfriend and he doesn't want to leave the house. And I'm like, "Gosh, she's got a boyfriend." But no, the player comes out, and the player goes, "Fuck that. He's a sugar daddy, you got this." And I joke around with her a little bit more, and I ask her for her phone number, and she goes, "I don't think that's a good idea." But in the game, you learn that on average, you ask for a phone number 3 times before they'll say yes. So I ask her again, and I say, "Listen, I don't want to get in the middle of that. I just want to get to know you, maybe learn how to dance." And she goes, "No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a good idea." And I go, "That's fine. I'm going to leave. That's cool." And I pull out a pen and I grab a cocktail napkin and I go like this. And I'm waiting for her to say, "Fuck off." But she giggles, she shrugs her shoulders, and she starts to write her number down. And I can't believe this. I'm done. I got my number. I'm done. It's 9 o'clock. I can go home. And she hands me the cocktail napkin and she goes, I really don't think I'm going to go out with you." And the player comes out again, and I grab the cocktail napkin, I put it in my pocket, and I say, "That's cool. I'm probably never going to call you," and I walk away. And I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" And I start walking back to the floor couch, and the girls and Charlie are now walking towards me, and we're heading for the door, and he's like, "New bar." And I get to the back of that little group, and there's this girl who's about 4 inches taller than me. Easy. And she asked me where I'm from, or how I know Charlie. Because she's telling them that his name is Charlie. And I say, "Oh, we know each other from Jersey." And she says, "I'm from Long Island." And I said, "Really? Are you guys all on vacation?" And she goes, "No, they're from here. They're models." And then she mumbles, and I feel really ugly around them. And then the nice guy comes out for a second, and I go, "You should never think like that, because you're a very beautiful woman. And that's stupid." And then the player comes back out. And he's pissed. And the player says, "Would you feel a little more confident if a hot guy from LA kissed you on the mouth right now?" And now in my head, she's laughing her ass off. And she's sharing this information with her friends, who then laugh. And then tell everybody in the bar, who then laugh and point and tell me to fuck off. But that's not what happens. What happens is she pauses for a second, and she does this. And I grab her by the waist, and I pull her close, and she wraps these big bird arms around me, She's tall. And I kiss her square on the mouth. And we walk out of that bar arm in arm. And she gives me her number, she tells me to call me when I'm in Long Island. And that's not the end of the night. We end up in Liberace's old apartment at some weird LA party. And I meet a mail-order Russian bride who I try to explain why she should give me her phone number. And she says no, and then she says no again, and introduces me to her mail-order husband, who then I try to explain why she should give me her phone number, and he punches me in the face. I wake up a little later in Charlie's Jeep, and I'm holding this piece of paper, and I look at it, and it's a phone number in pink lipstick. And I say, Russian girl? And he goes, Russian girl. I wake up at 4:30 in the afternoon the next day, and I'm feeling like I've figured everything out. I now know who I am, I now know who I'm going to be, and it's all good. And I look at my phone, and there's a voicemail on it. And I listen, which is weird for me, quite honestly. And I push, and I listen to the voicemail, and it's her. And the second I hear her voice, pictures flash into my head, and I can see me in Charlie's Jeep, and I'm screaming and giggling into my phone. And I hear her voice, and she is repeating the message that I left her, that I drunk dialed her, and I say, I don't need you. I have a mail-order Russian bride. And so on and so forth. And I realized, as I hang up my phone, that those books were all bullshit, and that attitude was all bullshit, because all it does is it gets you phone numbers. And it doesn't get you love. Thank you.